Hey guys, Kamal again. I've been searching for trending topics in the internet. Honestly, I didn't expect it, but I found that one of the most trending topics in the internet was actually the air quality. You're probably aware that climate change, global warming, those were one of the main issues for last, I want to say, decade. We're predicting that the world will end in like 4 or 5 years, which never didn't happen. Since I had lots of experience traveling all around the world, I wanted to share my take on this problem, and especially having a degree in international relations, I think that would shed a light to many problems that we have currently as a world society. If you're curious about this and if you haven't traveled a lot, this video could be helpful for you. Let's hit to the video. Obviously, global warming, air quality, these are things that are important. They are directly impacting the life quality. I lived in the Middle East. I was in China. I had a short business life, I want to say, in China, in Beijing specifically, and in Guangzhou and Shenzhen. Those are three main cities. I didn't visit Shanghai, but I assume it was something like close to those that I've been to. Definitely on my to-do list though. So what I happened to find out while I was in those countries, first of all, the technological advancement of China is incredible. I was there back in 2014, I want to say, and back then they had a technology that, especially in the city Shenzhen, is kind of like a Silicon Valley place for the China.
Shenzhen sits north of Hong Kong.
That United States started to implement like Apple Pay. They have had it like 10 years ago. Alipay, that's the name I believe, or WeChat. They used that platform. Well, in comparison, Apple Pay was rolled out here in the United States like about a couple of years ago, I believe. I might be mistaken, but something like that. And the worst part I noticed in China and in the Middle Eastern countries is the air quality. Literally, especially in the Middle East, I used to suffocate in the mornings, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when the buses start to work. Public transportation is a big thing everywhere except the United States, because many countries don't have so much highways. Many people don't have their own cars, so they have to use public transportation. Those guys use diesel gas, which has very bad emissions. If you would go and search for the countries with the highest cancer rate, you would see that countries with like highest emissions, most of the time those guys have the highest cancer rate. Especially the places like Beijing, many Middle Eastern capitals, you would just suffocate in the mornings. After coming to California, I started to appreciate the weather, the air we have here. However, on the flip side, I don't think that the taxes that the government does charge here in California are justified. California is a state that pays the highest taxes for the gas. I mean, come on guys, like you can go to other 50 states. Maybe in Texas is different, but in most of them, you would not feel like I go to Vegas. I don't feel like a huge difference in the air in the Vegas and in California. Although it's desert there, they don't have same requirements for the smoke check as California does, but it's still clean weather. The important part that I found out, especially living in Ukraine, is that trees and greenery plays significant role in air quality, overall in quality of life of people. Another experience I had was in India. Definitely the sanitary situation is not the best. However, the weather wasn't that bad as it was in China, and there's a reason for that, because India did not have, back when I was there, as much as production as China did. I'm talking about like a big factories. India didn't have it back then. I'm not sure they have it still, but overall situation was better in India comparing to China. I'm talking about the air quality. I'm not talking about the quality of life or anything else. As I said, the quality of air definitely is important, especially it affects the health. When talking about the global warming and global issues, we have to understand that almost 40% of the world emissions are coming from China and neighboring countries. United States overall with its neighboring countries accounts, I believe, somewhere around 10% of the world emissions. Even if you will cut the emissions here, it doesn't mean that it will somehow seriously affect the world, especially considering the fact that neither China nor India are planning to do this. Explain you guys that it's an important issue, and the most important is to understand it correctly, to hear what the other countries are planning to do with emission cuts, and understand how it will affect overall population of the earth. Thank you for watching guys. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.